Episode 149 of Australia's #1 marketing show. In this episode, we're reminded of the power of old school marketing.
Welcome to the Small Business Big Marketing Show, where successful small business owners share their secrets to take your marketing to the next level. Now here's your host, Tim Reid.
G'day listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Small Business Big Marketing. I am your host, Timbo Reid, but you, so much more importantly, are a motivated small business owner ready to crank out some amazing marketing to build your business, just like every guest on this show does. So welcome, and by the way, we are brought to you by the very, very good folk at Net Registry, who keep on giving this show some loving and the support it needs. So please, if you can, and you need a bit of online marketing assistance, give them a buzz or go to netregistry.com.au, because they can basically sort you out with all that kind of complicated stuff around domain name registration and website hosting, website design and development, search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising, all that geeky stuff that you should not have to worry about. You should worry about selling more widgets and creating more content. Let Net Registry do the rest. All right, so netregistry.com.au is where it is at for all your online marketing needs. Tell them Timbo sent you. Alrighty. I'm pumped and I'm inspired. There is so much marketing love to be shared in episode 149. I've got to tell you, by the way, welcome to all the flying soloists who I know tune in every week as well. So much marketing love. I have got an update from Daniel Flynn of Thank You, the brand Thank You. We interviewed him episode 147 a couple of weeks ago. He was doing some massive stuff. He's got some interesting news to share with us. I've got a listener who needs a little bit of love, a little bit of a cuddle, and a little bit of a pat on the back and saying a bit of a thank you, well done. So I've got that coming up as well. I've got some feedback from a listener who's launching a new surf brand. I have got a question from a listener in the UK who is challenging me, asking me whether I understand their editorial mission. I like that. I want to share a win with you. And then, and only then, have I got an interview for you, an interview that is all about old school marketing. No online stuff, team. We're talking old school. We're talking above the line. So, boy, oh boy, have we got some stuff to cover. Righto, well, let's get stuck right in, because if you remember, episode 147, a couple of weeks ago, I interviewed Daniel Flynn, social entrepreneur extraordinaire. He has a brand called Thank You Water, which is, yes, part of the bottled watered category. That's exactly what it is. But every dollar of profit he makes goes back into providing water to third world countries. Well, Daniel thought he'd extend that brand into food and into body care. And he'd then try and get the two biggest supermarket chains in Australia on board after 5 years of getting a no from them, seeing whether he wanted to see whether they distribute his product. So he had two meetings last week following the interview that we did with him. He put together an amazing social media campaign, got everyone to leave Facebook videos on Coles and Woolworths Facebook, comments on there. He just crowdsourced this amazing amount of social pressure. He even had a helicopter flying over the Coles and the Woolworths head offices during the meeting with a big flag hanging off it saying, buy me, buy Thank You products, that type of stuff. Amazing. He wanted them to stock 22 new lines. It's an incredible story, and the story now has an outcome, and I rang Daniel to, congratulate him on that outcome. Have a listen to this.
Tim, how you doing?
Matey, couldn't be finer. Now, just a little warning, I'm recording this.
Beautiful.
Now, a very quick call, because
I've used my high voice to answer the phone. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was
now recorded.
Bit weird. Hey, mate, a quick one, but you got to be the busiest social entrepreneur going around. Well done.
Thank you, Tim. Really appreciate it.
Wow. Just give the listeners a very quick update, mate, as to what's happened since we spoke 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, cool. Look, it's pretty humbling, but basically we met with Coles Friday last week, and they came back within 5 hours to say we'll be taking on the water range and the food range, and then they'll commit to that straight away, and then over time work through the body care stuff. A little bit more complicated there, but massive win with Coles. And then we met with Woolworths on Tuesday, literally 3 hours after that meeting, got the call to say they're on board as well.
So, was there a little bit of one-upmanship by Woolworths?
Look, I don't know. They've both taken on a similar amount of the range. And look, we're out of normal ranging period, so to get anything on shelf is sort of unheard of. So we're really grateful, and it's mind blowing to get both of them. So
did they bow to the public pressure of the campaign that you put under? What do you think was the big kind of decider for them?
Look, I think the truth is, and we all we talked about this on the show, but they're both very established and very big. So I don't think you can. Although people say, "Oh, we really put them in the corner," I don't know. I don't think we really did. I think the campaign basically said, it got their attention, which was the point of it. It really got their attention and showed them there is real potential in this product. But I think it also came down to, the commercial realities of it and all the other benefits that we sort of showed, with the range. So the social media, big piece, and probably a big piece on how it moves so quickly. Definitely would be because of the whole social media campaign. But at the end of the day, they're not going to move forward on something that's not commercial anyway. So,
was there a point in the meeting, just very quickly, mate? I called you out of the blue.
No, you're all good.
Was there a point let's talk about the Coles meeting first. Was there a point where you've gone, oh, this is getting a bit wobbly, or was it just ace from the start?
No, look, it seemed to be. Yeah, it seemed to be really good. Like when we walked into the building, obviously we were nervous as anything, and I remember walking through the building and looking around, going, "There are a lot of glass windows here." They probably all saw that helicopter, so that was a funny thought. But look, they received it really well, which was really good news. So it was both meetings were all around positive. Yep. I think everyone commented just on how. That they've never seen anything like this before.
Did they? How'd the meeting go? Because it's not like you go, well, you've seen what we've done, guys. You're going to stock, or did you do some kind of PowerPoint preso? What did you do?
Yeah, PowerPoint presentation. And,
yes.
Yeah, so I think we had about 50 slides in total, so it was a fair bit to go through. A lot of the mechanics of how it all works and that sort of thing.
Yep.
But, a normal presentation, probably like any supplier would be used to.
Any tricky questions?
Nothing too tricky we couldn't answer as a result.
Yep.
But yeah, look, I think they genuinely needed to know that, everything is what it is and that sort of thing.
So, buddy, well done. It's a big outcome. Coles and Woolworths stocking both water and food range and body care down the track if all goes well.
Yeah.
Mate, you use the word humbling up front of this call. How do you really feel deep down inside?
Look, it's a pretty surreal feeling. I don't think it's fully sunk into the team yet because we kind of dreamed of getting one. Oh man, how good would that be to get one of them on board? And when Coles came through, everyone said, "Oh, that's it, end of the road there."
Yep.
But we knew if Woolworths came to the party, this is going to make such a massive impact around the world. So when they did, it was like. It was a surreal feling, and obviously slept pretty well that night because we haven't for a few weeks. So
yeah. When can we expect to see it in store?
Look, now there's a lot of work just around getting everything ready for now. But they've got lots to juggle around. So we're looking around probably 4 to 5 weeks, and we'll have a date pretty soon when the official product launches.
Mate, that's quick. That's really quick.
Yeah, it is.
Buddy, love your work. Big hug from me to you and your team and from all my listeners.
Gotcha.
What an absolutely fantastic story. Well done, Daniel. It's inspiring, mate, and we will follow your progress with getting all that product in store with absolute interest, and I just think it's an amazing story. Well done, mate. Alrighty, next one is a listener who I want to give a little bit of love to. He's a very active member of the Small Business Big Marketing Forum, and he's also the fellow who suggested the Common Man restaurant for the upcoming Small Business Big Marketing meetup that is happening on August 29 in Melbourne. And his name is Mark Penny, and he's a good fella. Had a couple of chats to Mark over the course of the of recent times, and as I said, very active member of the forum. He says, "Hey Tim." Oops, sorry, Timbo, he says. "I just listened to your latest podcast," which was the last one, of Small Business Big Marketing, and was wondering, what have I got to do to get a mention on your show? I figured you might thank me for the restaurant suggestion. Then he's got a couple of exclamation marks and a happy face. So he is taking the mickey out of me. He says, "Lots of laughs, just having a laugh, but seriously, my name in lights? Can I have it, please?" There you go, Mark. I have given it to you, mate. You did recommend the restaurant for the meetup, and I'm even going to go one step further beyond thanking you for what I hear is a pretty good place to have a meetup. But I suppose August 29 we'll find that out. But I am also going to promote your business, which is Meppy IT, MEPPY IT.com. .au. And on his website, he says he is a provider of managed IT support and computer services, as well as consulting and cloud services for small to medium businesses across Australia. So guys, Mark is a good fellow. He is out there trying to help the small business owner with that complicated area of IT. Go and visit meppyit.com.au. He's a good fellow. And Mark, here's just here's some violins, a little violin that I'm playing to, when someone wants a little bit of love. Here they are. All right, we have got a listener question all the way from the UK, from Phil Singos. Now, Phil says, "Hi, Tim. I'm a nurse trying to make ends meet with a family of 3.5 kids. 3.5. And a mortgage over my head on a crappy wage. I have found an idea with a friend at work and started our website. I would love to join your community," meaning the Small Business Big Marketing Forum, "but can't afford it yet. So I'm doing the best with my fabulous podcast, with your fabulous podcasts. Anyway, enough rambling. I listened to podcast about editorial mission. It was enlightening. Here's our mission. My test for you is, can you work out what we do?" That's a great question, Mark. And it's a question that when anyone does sort out their editorial mission, share it with people who don't know you and who specifically don't know what you do, and see if they understand it. Because if they understand it, chances are those in the know will understand it as well. So great acid test, Phil. Now, here's his editorial mission, and the question is, do I understand it? Give carers the practical skills to care for someone in need. I get it. I reckon what you are, Phil, is a carer training agency. You train carers up so that they can provide the best outcomes for the people that they care about. That's what I think you do. I hope I'm right. If I am, let us know via email, or you can send me a voicemail at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. Hit that button and send us a voicemail, and then we'll find out. Listeners, just a reminder, to get your editorial mission, the structure is, what do you offer, for who, and what outcome can they expect? And if you hit those three things, then you can create an editorial mission that you can then use to frame all the content that you're going to create for your business. So if I was to improve Phil's editorial mission, I would say, give carers the practical skills to care for someone in need so that they live a fulfilling life. That's what I do, because that's the positive outcome of the services they provide. So, Phil, thanks, mate, for your question. And remember, listeners, you can go to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, hit the email button or hit the voicemail button. I do love getting a voicemail, by the way, and I may well just answer your question on an upcoming episode. Alrighty doodly. By the way, the meetup, the Small Business Big Marketing meetup in Melbourne, go to meetup.com/small business big marketing. Register there anyway, even if you're not in Melbourne, because I will have meetups in other parts of Australia and the world, depending on where I am. And if you are in Melbourne, then go ahead and register and RSVP. It's on Thursday, August the 29th. It's a lunch and it's at 1 p.m. So it should be a lot of fun. All right, I have got some feedback from listener Elise Pete. She says, "Hey, Tim, no question for you, just some feedback. I'm in the midst of launching my brand called She Project. I will essentially be the first surf hardware brand in the world catering purely to women." Well done. Nice to pick out a niche. All the existing surf brands tend to focus on their core male market, and at the end of the product design process, throw in a pretty pink colour for the girls. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, no thought put in there, so clearly Elise is giving it a little bit of extra grey matter. I just want to say that, like any young startup with its setback after setback, I have found your podcast to be my saving grace. I just listened to Dan Flynn's interview from Thank You, and I'm feeling incredibly inspired to keep on clipping away and getting these products to launch. Thanks again for your massive source of inspiration. Elise, thank you. That's a wonderful, wonderful note and a touching note. And what it says to me is a wonderful reminder to us all is to identify our sources of inspiration and often connect with them. It doesn't mean you have to kind of connect at a physical level in the sense of sending an email or trying to get in contact with them. But whoever it is that you seek inspiration from, have them in your mind, have them in your heart. So, in fact, I was asked this the other day when I, from my interviewing, someone asked me, where do I get my inspiration for interviews? And there's a couple of places. One is Michael Parkinson, the famous BBC interviewer. I just love the way he uses, believe it or not, very few words to get the most out of his guests. I could learn a bit from Michael. And another one is Mike Sheehan, who is a local football commentator who has a show called Open Mic on the Foxtel network, on the Fox Footy channel. And I just like the way both those guys go about asking their guests questions and getting the most out of their guests. And so when I am doing an interview, I'll often, this sounds weird, I often kind of channel them and get a sense of what would they do, how would they go about it. For my bigger brand, for the whole small business, big marketing brand, Holus Bolus, I seek my inspiration from Jamie Oliver. So there you go, a little bit of an insight and a little bit of a wonderful bit of feedback from Elise. And Elise, by the way, best of luck with She Project. When it's up and launched, let us know. I would love to follow you, and I am going to follow you with interest. Okay, so I just want to share a win. I've had a number of wins of the last couple of weeks. In fact, I've received 4 emails from what I'd consider big brands who have asked to sponsor the show. Each one of them, unfortunately, have conflicted with Net Registry, and I love Net Registry, so I had to say no to those other brands. But it's kind of a nice recognition that, hey, the show's getting out there, getting noticed, and people want to sponsor it. So another little win I had was from the guys at Infusionsoft, which is an all-in-one sales and marketing software, online software for small businesses. And the guys sent me, it's quite a big deal, the Infusionsoft brand. And I got a note from them, from Corey at Infusionsoft, saying, congratulations on being named in the top 50 small business blogs to watch, which they've just created this fantastic infographic and gone through all the various aspects of small business and created this kind of top list of 50 blogs. And I am in there. And I'm sitting alongside Neil Patel, who's the SEO guru, Seth Godin. There he is again. He keeps popping up in my life. Smashing Magazine, and there's Small Business Big Marketing. So quite proud to be included in that company, and I love it. You're starting to make a little impact when those kind of things come through. Plus, again, and I said it before, all the feedback I get on iTunes from listeners. So thanks to Infusionsoft for that, and I'll put a link to that infographic in the show notes for episode 149 because it's actually a really good infographic. And if you are into infographics, you might want to have a look at it and see what you can learn from it. If you're not, and I'm not yet, I've had a few scribes done of past episodes, but I do love infographics as a way of communicating ideas and flows and thoughts. So something I'm going to look at into the future and a great form of content. Alrighty, we are now going to get stuck in to today's interview. And I really, really love this interview. I'll tell you why. It's old school. It is absolutely old school. It's with a fellow by the name of Andrew Mattner. He's a partner at a chartered accounting and financial planning firm in South Australia called Hatton McCarthy Reeves. And I got a note from one of my forum members, Luke, who said it's his accountant. He said, you got to interview him. He does great marketing. And he sent me some examples of the marketing they do. And it's great. This show's called Small Business Big Marketing for a reason. And it's all about identifying small businesses who are doing big marketing. Funny that. Andrew fits and Hatton McCarthy Reeves fit into that category. What I love about this interview is we talk about ideas to attract and retain customers that are absolutely absolutely old school traditional marketing methods. Yes, these guys have an online footprint, but we didn't talk about it. We talk instead about referral marketing, about holding educational events, about setting up charitable foundations, about client entertainment, about all those wacky things that often can kind of slip through the gap as we chase the almighty social media silver bullet, or the SEO silver bullet, or the Google AdWords silver bullet. There is no marketing silver bullet, guys, and I just think it's a wonderful conversation that this show hasn't had for a while. So without further ado, here is Andrew Mattner, partner in a chartered accounting firm in South Australia. Enjoy, and I'll come back later on with a wrap-up of my top 3 learnings. Andrew Mattner from Hatton McCarthy Reeves Chartered Accountants in South Australia. Welcome to Small Business Big Marketing.
Thanks, Tim.
Now, Andrew, I've got to start, mate, by asking about this Apple business. Your brand, your visual brand is Red Apples, and you're an accountant. What's all that about?
Well, I think apples represent a lot of things, and I guess in terms of our clients and the way we work with people, I guess the apple's a symbol of health and well-being and so forth. So our purpose is to change people's lives and help them out, and an apple's a good representation of that.
Right. Now, it's on the website. How does the apple play out throughout the business, or doesn't it?
No, it does. So it's all on all our letterheads and logos, and obviously all that sort of stuff. All our key colours are red, in line with the red apple.
You got to have the fruit bowl on the reception desk, don't you?
We have at different times, so that definitely happens. Fruit for the team, all those sort of things.
So when a client rings and says, Andrew, my tax bill, it's horrendous, do you just look him in the eye and go, she'll be apples?
No, not so much. But what we do say is that you knew about that tax bill before you got it. So, so it shouldn't be a surprise.
Oh, yes, an accountant giving tough love. Well, let's talk about that, because I notice one of the things you say in terms of services delivered is that you guys provide financial and business advice delivered in a down-to-earth manner. And I think you just did that. Tell us a little bit more about down-to-earth and how that plays out in the business.
Look, we've got some pretty strong values, and one of our values that actually sits on our wall, Tim, is a no BS value. And what that means is we're not stuffy accountants. We don't sit in a 20-storey building with suits and ties and things like that. We're down to earth, we'll call it as we see it. We attract clients like that and business owners that like that want to work with us to improve what they do. And look, sometimes we'll say things that will challenge people or challenge clients and things like that. But at the end of the day, that's the right thing to do. It's more about improving their well-being, if it's not necessarily even the best thing for us.
When I hear about, and I respect the power of values when they are respected and honoured by the entire team. When I hear that you have values hanging on the wall, my cringe meter goes up a little, because I've seen that so many businesses where they hang on the wall, but if I were to ask the staff, hey, what are your values? They'd kind of look at me glazed eyes. Would that happen if I went into your business?
No, definitely not. That's something that we focus on a fair bit. And it's all our values and service standards are part of our employment contracts. We've got very strict standards in terms of how our team engage with our clients. So, simple things like returning phone calls and emails within the same business day. Well, that's part of our service standards and culture, and everyone's empowered and do call others out when they don't do the right thing.
Mate, it's so powerful when it does happen, when it is really lived within the business. It's amazing. I interviewed Richard Crawford, who started the Henry Jones Hotel down in Hobart. Interviewed him a few weeks ago, and I had this similar conversation. He had a fantastic saying that he came up with but imparted to every staff member, which is, guys and girls, we offer black tie service with a blue jean attitude. And it was like everyone in that business knew about it.
Yeah. I was going to say it's a bit like us. One of the tags that we've got on just internal in some internal working documents here is, casual approach, serious results.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just in line with exactly what you're saying.
Love it.
Those guys from the hotel.
I love it, mate. Oh, well done for honouring the whole values thing. I actually call them guiding principles, because that's kind of what they are. I mean, it's an active description of what others call core values. Hey, listen, Andrew, I'm guessing, having had a look at your approach to marketing and having, as I mentioned at the start before we went on air, one of the referrals to getting you on here was a mate, Luke, who's part of the Small Business Big Marketing Forum, and he's kind of bumped a bit of your marketing my way. I would say that you're more of an offline marketer than an online marketer, a bit old school. Fair?
Yeah, probably, but I think evolving in that space.
Don't. By the way, don't be embarrassed about that, because I'm kind of hoping I can title this whole conversation, offline is not dead, because we talk a lot about online. Yeah.
Look, definitely, I think there's still a fair bit of that older school way of doing it. And I mean, but we are trending to some more of the modern ideas and stuff like that. There is an embrace of social media and other things like that throughout the office. So
why?
Oh, that's a good question. Look, I don't know the answer.
I love that. I love it.
But maybe it's the in vogue thing to do. I don't know.
Oh, exactly. And hence it was almost a leading question. And I loved your pause, because, do it for the right reasons, I suppose, would be my advice. Yes, it's there. It's not going away. Everyone's on Facebook now. Twitter's popular, blah, blah, blah. LinkedIn, I guess, for you guys. But, the wrong reason is because it's in vogue. The right reason is because you found a way to provide a return on investment from it. Yeah,
look, I think for us, in terms of a return on investment, we've got to be very careful at how much time we spend there, and the financial rewards that otherwise come out of it on the other side. And the reality is, in terms of marketing, most of our new business or activity comes from referrals, and we've got an active referral program where we encourage that. And it doesn't come off Twitter, and it doesn't come off of Facebook. So I guess deployment of resources in the right spots is something that we're constantly aware of.
Okay, well, I'd love to have that offline conversation, because there are a few things you're doing. I'd love to understand the referral program, and I'm sure listeners would. You run free educational seminars. I want to hear about those. And there's a couple of other. You've got a foundation. There's a whole lot of big, what I'd call big offline marketing strategies you guys are employing. So let's start with referrals. How does that program play out?
How it plays out is, we had a look at it, and like a lot of, I'll generalise, a lot of accountants or a lot of businesses for a long period of time don't know where they get their business from. So we actually sat down, we were part of a coaching group, and did the numbers on it, and realised that 90% of our new business comes from referrals from existing clients. And so what we needed to do is we needed to focus our energies on getting more from that channel. And so what it came down to is we put in place a simple gift, I think handwritten note and a gift to a certain value for the first inquiry. And then if clients actually convert from that, there's actually a return or reward that goes to the referrer from there. Now, whether that's from a client, whether it's from a centre of influence, whether it's from a team member, we're true to that across the board. And we've got effectively 3 different business segments in terms of the business advisory. We've got a tax division, and we've got a financial planning division. It's equal. We do the same thing consistently across the 3 different business segments. And that's worked really well. The feedback from that's been great, and that's been active for about 8 or 9 months, where we've been very focused on doing that. And I guess we haven't been, once we were more aware of it, we haven't been afraid to ask. It's great to get the feedback from clients that, you're doing a good job, from centres of influence. Yeah, we're really impressed with how you work with this client or what you achieved here. Then saying, well, that's great. We really appreciate that feedback. If anybody else you think can benefit from what we provide, we'd love a bit of a leg up.
I love that. I know often our overseas listeners will be going, what are these guys saying? Leg up? Tell me, interesting. So really, my question was, how do you ask? But you've just shared that. I mean, I know there'd be some business owners out there too scared to ask because they're going to be they don't want the no answer. Oh, what if they say no? Two things there. One is they're less likely to say no. Secondly, in your case, 90%. You've got a 90% chance of them saying yes.
Yeah. And look, you answer at the right time. You don't go out to a client with a big bill and say, oh, by the way, would you refer somebody to me? We have annual general meetings. We go through different things, quarterly reviews, and the feedback we get from clients at different times is, well, that's really great. We're really pleased. It's about picking the right time as well.
Do you capture? It sounds like you're getting a lot of feedback. Do you ever capture that beyond asking for referrals? Do you capture testimonials? Do you ask clients to talk on your behalf? Yeah, we do all that. So we've got testimonials and case studies that we grab. We also we've just implemented over the last couple of months at the completion of every major project or job, that all our clients get a online survey to complete, requesting feedback, because one of our key metrics in here in terms of how we're going is what our net promoter score is. So we're actually tracking that, and we're actually running at a pretty good rate at the minute. So what percentage? I hate surveys. How many complete the survey?
It's actually pretty good.
I knew you'd say that.
Yeah, we're actually up about it's over 80%.
Nice.
So, yeah, no, it's good.
Do you incentivize that?
No, we don't. No. So if clients want to complete it, they complete it. There's no obligation. If they don't want to, then they don't have to.
Online Survey Monkey or something?
Through Survey Monkey.
Yeah, oh, good. I completed a survey yesterday from a kid's school, and it just kept on going. I thought, I'm at the last page, and it just kept on going and going and going. In the end, I just dropped out. Hello to the principal of my kid's school. So excellent. Okay, so referral. If I flick you some business, you're going to give me a little prezi straight up for an inquiry, and then just to kind of get really clear on that, if that business if that prospect becomes a client, then there is a financial reward for the referee.
Yeah, or a greater gift.
Nice.
It might be an accommodation voucher or a travel voucher. It might be a decent dinner out. It could be financial, whatever.
Whose responsibility is it to track that? Because that could become quite a big job.
Yeah, we've got an internal marketing coordinator that does that. So
nice.
So accountants or a chartered accountant, business advisory business with internal marketing coordinators. It's a bit of a new thing, but we've got one.
Well, good on you. And just interesting to understand. So the size of your business for you to for that to allow you to have an internal marketing coordinator. You got 25 staff?
Yeah, about 25.
Turnover?
Nearly 4 mil.
Yeah, okay. So well and truly affordable. Okay, so let's keep talking offline marketing, Andrew. Educationals. I love this idea. Tell us about what you do there.
Look, in different areas, we've got seminars for emerging technologies or opportunities for clients. My financial planning partner is very passionate about educating the next generation of business owners that are coming through. So it might be about learning about the stock market. It might be different investment principles, superannuation, the emergence of cloud technologies.
So are we talking an evening sort of seminar type thing?
Yeah, exactly right. And we just put on some nibbles and some drinks after the seminar, give the opportunity for clients to get around and talk.
Just for clients?
No, look, they're always encouraged to bring along a guest and things like that.
Yep.
We make them open to the public at different times, depending on what the topic is and so on.
Do you record them?
We're starting to.
Yeah, lost opportunity if you're not. I mean, that's just you're sharing so much knowledge there. Why wouldn't you be recording those puppies and putting them on a YouTube channel, transcribing them, creating blog posts out of them, sending them around? I mean, so much you could do.
Yeah, no, that's just something we're starting to do now, Tim. So, I mean, we've just got the YouTube channel up and running, and there's only a handful of stuff on videos on there at the minute.
Yep.
But the content bank is being developed every time we run a session for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we continue the offline discussion, and you have got a foundation, which which I love. Now, tell us about how that whole what is the foundation and what role does it play in your marketing?
Yeah, well, what we did about 2 years ago, we identified the need to have complementary business services as part of our offering, and one thing that we didn't have at that time was financial planning. And one of my colleagues, Tony, who I'd known for a long period of time, came from a big stockbroking firm. And we sat down and we said, what's everything we don't like about the financial planning industry?
Great question.
And we didn't like commissions. We didn't like how they got paid. The underlying principle of that, it came back to us to, you recommend something or you do something for a client because it's in their best interest, not because you get a trail out of it. And that's traditionally how that industry worked for a long period of time. So what we did was when we started up, we said, well, there's certain commissions that we can't either rebate to clients or we can't turn off. And they might be $2 here, $3 there. That is just unpractical to give back. So what we said, well, what do we do with it? We don't want to keep it. It's against our values. It's not in line with our business model. And we said, we'll give it away. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, how? And we thought, well, what we'll do is we'll set up our own foundation. We set some key, guidelines with who we were going to support. So certain community groups or whatever in our area that we wanted to support, and all those commissions that can't be rebated to clients or turned off go into the foundation and we give them away. It's also open to clients, so clients can contribute to it. So, people might make a determination that they want to give away $500, but they don't know where. They say, well, here you go. You guys go and do it. You know what you want to do here in terms of supporting that. We agree with that. Pull it together. Go and do it.
What a great idea. That's your values at work. I mean, you didn't feel comfortable. There was I always talk about how the plates didn't align. These are what you valued, and yet you were being forced to do something else because they were commissions you couldn't give back. So the values have guided you into a place that has worked on a whole lot of levels.
Yeah, correct.
How long's the foundation been around, Andrew?
It's been around since we started financial planning, so about 2 years ago. It's called the Catapult Foundation, and over the last 12, 18 months, we've given away over 50 grand to the local charities. We support at-risk youth, the homeless, kids, so disabled kids, so helping them integrate back in the workforce. Things like.
How do you choose where that money goes?
We actually sat down and we've developed relationships with these people. So we didn't want it to be mainstream. I guess the big mainstream charities will have a lot bigger publicity budget or advertising budget that they can draw, or the door knockers or whatever it might be. We just picked certain things that were important to us that we wanted to support and sort out partnerships, I guess, in those areas, and have picked 4 or 5 key bodies and are just supporting them.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. So, okay, so what role does the Catapult Foundation play in your marketing?
Look, in terms of our marketing, we have an annual movie night, and we invite all our clients along to that. So that was about a month ago. And that's where we presented all the checks. So it's good for our clients to see that we're doing the right thing. I mean, it's great for us to say that we're doing it, but there's actually evidence when, you're handing across checks that, we're demonstrated that we do what we say we're going to do. Mm-hmm. So from that perspective, it's on our websites and online through our financial planning website and so on. It's marketed out through our e-news, through our newsletters and other things like that.
Yeah, good on you. It was a bit of a leading question, and I'm glad you answered it like you did, because sometimes I hear businesses say they do it, and you either do it for philanthropic reasons or for a social conscience / marketing reason. And if philanthropic, you hide behind it. You don't let the world doesn't need to know. But I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of making it a part of positioning your brand and how you market your business. And I think it's fantastic. Spoken to a few social entrepreneurs of recent episodes, and making the world a better place is a good marketing strategy.
Oh, exactly right. And I mean, that comes back to our core purpose is to change people's lives for the better. That's why we turn up every day.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's interesting in itself. So that is almost, that's your why. We talk about the why on this show, and why do you do what you do. And so changing people's lives for the better is something that everyone in the business has a sense of.
Absolutely. And that's something that we sit down and spend a lot of time working out why we do that. And, the world according to Simon Sinek.
Yes.
Going through and doing that, and look, it's something that resonates with all of us. I mean, we spend a lot of time here. We spend a lot of time away from our families and doing things like that. Well, it's not just about the dollars. It's about doing the right thing. It's about helping somebody else. We get access to so much information, and I think we've got a responsibility at the end of the day to do more than just a tax return or a set of financial statements.
Interesting. Do you use that line, changing people's lives for the better? Do you talk about that in a new client, in a meeting with a prospect?
Yeah, we do. And again, like our values and stuff like that, it's on our wall.
Because just let's listeners understand how powerful that is. I mean, you got two. I always like to draw the analogy. You got, in this case, two accountants / financial advisors sitting alongside one another in front of a new client or a prospect. One says, we're a financial advisor and we deal in all these different areas. And the other one says, well, first and foremost, we're here to change people's lives for the better. I know who's going to get the business 9 out of 10 times. You.
Look, you're right. But I mean, that's important. But you got to, it's easy to say it. It's about then living it. And
you got to back it up.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah, but at least there's a starting point of a conversation where I think a line like that and sharing your why raises people's eyebrows and they're going to go, really? Prove it. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, then there starts an interesting conversation.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Love it, Matt. Other offline marketing, Andrew, is client entertainment something? You mentioned a movie night. Is there any other kind of client entertainment strategy?
Yeah, look, we do. We have a number of breakfasts at different times. I mean, as directors, we've all got a client, I'll call it nurturing responsibility. We've all got an entertainment allowance that involves coffees or lunches or whatever it might be, whether it be one-on-one or as a group. Tony, my financial planning partner, and myself are quite actively involved with Family Business Australia. So there's a lot of functions that we attend there, networking events. We encourage our team to get out and do that. So it's something that we're actively encouraging everybody to go and do.
Yeah, interesting. Good on you. Now, listen, on your website, I love the fact that you've got these. In fact, it looks like it's kind of like a letter almost written by one of your founders in the About Us section. And he shares secrets to surviving for 25 years, which is you're in your 25th year. Clearly, you've employed one person a year.
Yeah,
25 staff. Yeah, and there's a number of things. I won't go through them all, but. I'm always a big one for this one, which is always provide more value than you charge them for.
Yeah.
And it's that high perceived value at a low cost kind of offering. How do you do that? And how do you communicate the fact that you've over delivered?
That's a good question. Look, I guess the start point with that is transparency at the start. I mean, we don't work on hourly rates. All our stuff that we do is fixed price at the get-go. So we're very clear with the scope of what we're doing, what the client's problems are or what they want to achieve, what the value is to them, and so forth. So if there's no value in doing something for a client, then you shouldn't do it or you shouldn't charge for it. There is a certain element of client service that we all do, and accountants, other professionals have been notorious that every time a client jumps on the phone and they work in 6-minute blocks that the timer goes on, and then all of a sudden they get a bill that they're not expecting or otherwise. We don't believe that's the right thing to do. That's not how we work. And I think, in terms of demonstrating that, the clients understand, or when we have discussions with them, that it's part of just everyday life for us, I guess. if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, and those guys who are charging by the 6 minutes or by the hour, I reckon there'd be a few of them out there wondering why aren't our clients, they wouldn't kind of necessarily use this language, but why aren't our clients emotionally engaging with us, and why isn't 90% of our business coming from within and that, and I think right there is there, because with on those business terms, it just becomes a very rational, transactional kind of relationship, and one based around a little bit of fear, because you're only going to call if the proverbial hits the fan.
Yeah, look, you're exactly right. And I mean, we want to encourage good relationships with our clients, and one of the things is that you got to give stuff away. There's, like I said, the client service things. If you've got to fix stuff, if they need financials sent out to, a finance broker or a bank or things like that, that's just part of what we do. You don't get charged $50 because you send an email. That's just not right.
No, I agree. Listeners, I'm talking to Andrew Mattner, who is a partner at Hatton McCarthy Reeves Chartered Accountants in South Australia, in Adelaide. And we are having a good old, I would call this a meat and three veg offline marketing conversation, which I haven't had on this show for a while. I often talk, Andrew, about how the marketing world has changed so much in recent years, and as small business owners, we're in the hot seat. And to back that up, a lot of those the new marketing solutions are online, so it's quite a refreshing conversation. Mate, tell me how of all these marketing tactics and that you do, and I'm sure there's some we haven't covered.
Yeah.
What have you found has given you the biggest bang for your buck?
Look, in recent times, there's no doubt the referral program. That's where we're just getting the traction out of, and it's something that, like I said earlier, sort of flies under the radar, that you just don't, people and business owners don't give it enough attention. And I mean, for everybody that's out there that's listening, if there's one thing to take away, is that sort of stuff works. And I encourage all my clients to do it. It's something that's so simple and so easy to encourage people who support you and appreciate what you do to go and put a similar program in place in their own business.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. I mean, why not reward the people who are actively talking about your business? And so often I hear business owners say to me, word of mouth's the best marketing we've got. Word of mouth is, and I've said it so many times before, it's word of mouth's the result of great marketing. People, so you guys are doing great marketing by the sounds of it, in the products and services that you deliver, and as a result, word of mouth's an outcome. So well done, mate. Hey, listen, Andrew, I'm going to wrap it up. I just think that's a fantastic old school conversation, and one I would expect to come from one of Australia's old school towns in Adelaide.
Well, we are old school here, mate. Not as progressive as Sydney or Melbourne, but that's okay.
Hey, listen, I'm guessing you'll be sitting there. What do you got? The white shirt, kind of a bit of a funky tie, navy suit?
No ties. I've got the pink shirt on today.
Hey?
Got the pink shirt on, so no tie. Don't need a tie.
The pink shirt. That's what I do.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
The pink shirt's my stage shirt.
Yeah, no, we're right. It was purple yesterday, pink today.
Oh, gee, now my perception's completely changed. We might have to start this interview again.
Sort of new school living, old school processes.
Love it, mate. Thanks for being part of Small Business Big Marketing, Andrew.
Thanks, Tim.
Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed that interview. I certainly enjoyed having that chat with Andrew. 3 things I got from it. There was plenty more, but I'll give you 3 things that come immediately to mind. Old school marketing isn't dead. We can often fall into the trap of, chasing those bright, shiny objects that the online marketing world offer up, many of which are fantastic, and many, many, many of which we've covered in past episodes. But don't be scared to look into the old school of marketing closet, because you'll find some good stuff, just like we did in that chat with Andrew. Number 2, look to existing clients for future business. Isn't that amazing? We can spend so much time chasing business from new prospects that have never, we've not been referred to. It's kind of like that cold calling, versus just asking our existing clients and customers, hey, do you know anyone else who'd enjoy our product or our service? So get out there and do that. Maybe schedule that for once or twice a week. Number 3, get clear on your why. I love how Andrew and the team are very clear that they are there to change people's lives for the better. That's why they do what they do. What is your why? Why do you do what you do? And if you can get clear on that, then it's amazing how that affects every component part of how you promote your business going forward. So that brings us pretty close to the end of the show. I want to thank you all for listening. I hope there was some marketing gold. I know there was some marketing gold in there somewhere for each and every one of you, because you are a motivated small business owner who wants to grow your business through great marketing. And that is what we do here. And so do Net Registry. So head over to netregistry.com.au to get any of your online marketing sorted. Guys and girls, it's been a pleasure. I love bringing this show to you. So until next time, may your marketing be the best marketing. See you later.
You've been listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show with Tim Reid. Want more marketing goodness? Then visit smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.